It's game week 24, it's prediction time. Welcome back to Just Chatting Football. Hey there guys, I hope you're doing well. Welcome back to another predictions video. It is game week 24. We have 12 games this weekend coming up in the Premier League. But before we get into any of that, I have a score update for you. Now, game week 23, toing and throwing between myself and Charlotte, but it finally ended in a draw. Yes, we've had another draw. We both predicted 5 outcomes correctly. So that means the score remains at 7 wins for myself, 11 wins for Charlotte, and even though I didn't quite get the win that I wanted, the scores stay the same, so there's still plenty of opportunity for me to start reining Charlotte's lead back in. Now, before I get into our predictions, if you are a regular viewer of these videos and you've not yet subscribed, please do subscribe. If you're new here, please once again subscribe. Hit the like button if you like what you see. We are going to bring out other content as well. It's not just going to be these prediction videos between myself and Charlotte. We're going to do some analysis of some of the Premier League teams this season so far. And yeah, we'll just do more of chatting about football. Now, we'll kick things off this week. This weekend's games start with Leicester versus Liverpool. Now, this is a big game. Liverpool looking to stay in the top 4. Leicester looking to keep that gap down to Manchester City, who are currently, look like they're going to storm away with the title this season. Last time out, Leicester drew 0-0 with Wolves, so that means they remain third on 43 points. Liverpool lost to Manchester City 4-1, which gave Liverpool their 3rd home defeat in a league game in a row for the first time in league competition since 1963. Anfield used to be such a fortress for Liverpool. They've had such a long unbeaten run there. Didn't quite reach Chelsea's unbeaten home record, but it was still a tough place for teams to go. But things just aren't going their way at the moment. Liverpool really need to be picking up a win in this one to guarantee them staying in the top 4. Now, I'm not sure that that's going to happen in this game. I think Leicester are going to nick the win in this one, but Charlotte is backing Liverpool to turn their recent form around a bit. So she is going for a Liverpool win. Next up, we have a home game for Crystal Palace. They are up against Burnley. Yes, we have Palace in 13th on 29 points. Burnley are in 17th on 23 points. They are 8 points currently above the relegation zone. Now, Palace lost 2-0 to Leeds on Monday night. I don't think Roy knows who to start up top, really, after they added yet another striker to their strike force in Mateta. He had an alright game, didn't score though, unfortunately. Burnley, on the other hand, they drew 1-1 with Brighton. Surprisingly, to me at least, Burnley had a lot more opportunities than Brighton. Brighton tend to generate a lot of chances, but Burnley had so many in this game. They had 20 shots at goal. 7 of those found their way on target. So a good showing really by Burnley. But yes, back to this game. Crystal Palace versus Burnley. Charlotte, she is backing a Burnley win. I'm sitting on the fence. I'm going to sit in the middle. I'm going to go for a draw. I think it could be a bit of a dull one. But yeah, I'm going for a draw in this one. Next up, we have Manchester City versus Spurs. Yet another big game already in this game week. City are currently in first, of course. They are sat on 50 points. They are currently 5 points ahead of second place Manchester United. Spurs are currently in 8th. They are sat on 36 points. Now, City, as mentioned, beat Liverpool 4-1 this weekend. Fantastic showing. Spurs themselves, they beat West Brom 2-0. That game showed how much Tottenham rely on Harry Kane. When Harry Kane is in that team, They are a different outfit altogether. Now, once again, we have Pep going up against Mourinho, two huge managers clashing once again. They have faced each other 24 times, and out of those 24 times, Mourinho has beaten Pep 7 times. Pep has beaten Mourinho 11 times, and I am going to back a Pep win again. City are going to win this one for me, and I think they could win it quite comfortably. Charlotte, though, she is backing a sneaky Mourinho win. Could be a Mourinho masterclass again, could be, sit back and counter-attack, but whichever way this goes, I'm intrigued to watch this one. This is going to be a chess match. Now, next up, we have Brighton versus Aston Villa. Now, Brighton are currently sat on 25 points in 15th place. They will be looking to extend the distance between them and the drop zone, which currently stands at 10 points. Villa, they are sat in 9th on 35 points with 2 games in hand. If those 2 games were put down as wins, they would currently be sat in the top 4. They would be above Liverpool. So Villa doing very well so far this season. So, this again could be a very entertaining game. This could be end-to-end stuff. We know Brighton like to attack. That is their philosophy now. Charlotte, she is going for a Brighton win. She thinks Brighton could nick something on the break themselves here. I am going to sit on the fence and I'm going to go for a draw. Next up, we have Southampton. They are going up against Wolves. Now, Southampton have been a bit of a mixed bag this season. So have Wolves, really. This weekend just gone, Southampton had yet another loss. They lost 3-2 to Newcastle this weekend. They've now lost their last 5 on the bounce since beating Liverpool 1-0, and they've conceded 18 goals in that time. However, there were signs of life in that second half against Newcastle, so things could start turning around soon for them. Wolves, as I said, they're a bit of a mixed bag. They've only won 1 of their last 10 games. So for me, this was a tough one. It's probably going to be a draw, but I am going to back a Southampton win. Charlotte is going to back a Wolves win. She just feels it's been far too long for Wolves to not have won a game, and Southampton are there for the taking at the moment. Then we have West Bromwich Albion versus Manchester United. Big game for West Brom here. They're currently in 19th place on 12 points, at risk of being leapfrogged by Sheffield, so they could be dropping into the very bottom place of the league table come the end of this weekend. United, they are currently in 2nd place. They're on 45 points. They are 5 points behind the leaders City. Manchester United have dropped 7 points out of a possible 15th in their last 5 games, so it's a bit of an inconsistent form at the moment for them. They drew last time out against Everton thanks to a very last-second equaliser from Dominic Calvert-Lewin. So their defence can be got at, but boy, have they got some great attacking players. Fernandes creating goals out of nothing. A phenomenal player, one of the players of the season so far. Boy, are Manchester United lucky to have him. So that brings us to our predictions. We both can't look past a Manchester United win. They just have so much quality and class in their attack. Next up, we have Arsenal versus Leeds United. Now, Arsenal are sat in 11th on 31 points. Leeds are in 10th on 32 points. 1 point and 1 place ahead of Arsenal. They've even scored more goals than Arsenal. Now, Leeds won their last game out against Crystal Palace 2-0, as I mentioned earlier. Arsenal, they lost to Villa 1-0. Leeds, they continue to attack, which is lovely to see. It's working for them. They are comfortably above the relegation zone. I mean, they're sat in 10th. They're in the top half of the table at the moment. So all looking good for Leeds at the moment. Arsenal playing at home. Not such good form at home. Arsenal's form, they've only got 4 home wins so far this season. So on that basis, Arsenal playing at home, not playing so well at the moment. I'm going to back a Leeds win. Charlotte, though, she is backing an Arsenal win. She thinks they might nick a win against a forward-running Leeds, might nick a couple of goals on the break and just win this one. Then next up, we have the first of Everton's 2 games in this game week. Everton take on Fulham. Now, Everton picked up a huge last-minute point against Manchester United. Fulham, they held on for a very impressive 0-0 draw against West Ham. West Ham, who have been one of the informed teams at the moment, they are in scintillating form. In that game, though, Fulham dominated possession. They had 20 shots, albeit only two of those being on target, but they continue to perform well. Parker's got them playing some good solid football. They're just not getting enough goals to turn into points, sadly. Everton, they're doing all right, aren't they? They are currently in 7th on 37 points, but they do have 2 games in hand, and much like Aston Villa, if those 2 games were put down as wins, they would also have leapfrogged Liverpool into the top 4. It's looking all right at the moment for Everton, isn't it? I'm going to back an Everton win in this one. I just can't see Fulham doing much against them. Charlotte is going for a draw. She thinks Fulham will be quite solid in this one and break down Everton's attacks. And then we have West Ham versus Sheffield United. West Ham currently in 6th on 39 points. Sheffield down in 20th on 11 points. Now, since West Ham's 3-0 loss to Chelsea, West Ham have gone on to pick up 18 points from a possible 27. So they've had a very solid run of form for West Ham. Sheffield United, they have picked up 3 wins in their last 6, and they were actually very unlucky not to pick up something from that Chelsea game. They just continue to lack someone clinical finishing off at top. So for me in this one, if Lingard turns up, he could be the difference maker in this. But I think it's going to be a tight one either way. In Sheffield United's last 6 games, only once has the game been decided by more than 1 goal, and that was in their 3-1 loss to Spurs. So they're quite tight at the back. So I am going to back a draw in this one. Charlotte agrees with me. She can't split these 2. She is going for a draw. Sheffield United are really putting in a good fight now. And following Fulham's draw with West Ham, I think Sheffield United could do the same. And then finally on the weekend, we have Chelsea up against Newcastle. This is the last game on Sunday night. Chelsea currently in 5th place, 1 point behind Liverpool in 4th. That is following their 4th unbeaten game in a row under Thomas Tuchel. Newcastle, they've seen a bit of a turnaround recently. There's been less of parking the bus, more attacking intent from them. Now Alan St-Maximin is back. He is creating some very nice chances for them. There's just a bit more belief in the team going forward when he's playing. And Joe Willock looks like a fantastic little addition to that team. I know he's only had 1 game so far, but he looks like a little maestro in that midfield. So I'm actually a little bit worried about this one. I mean, Werner's form is starting to turn around. Yes, some lovely little runs in behind defences at the moment. He's creating chances. I'm unsure about this one. I was debating going for a draw, actually. I think Newcastle could do something here, but I've got to back the Blues. I've got to stick with Chelsea, and I'm going to back a home win. Charlotte, she's also backing a Chelsea win, but yeah, as I say, we're both not overly confident. Let's hope we see a real convincing win soon from Chelsea, because that is the next thing that is needed. A real convincing 2-3 goal win. Now we move into our COVID postponed games. These 2 games are being played on Wednesday. The first of which is Burnley versus Fulham. Now Fulham will have played an away game to Everton already this weekend, and then they have to travel again off to Burnley. Burnley, they will have played an away game at Palace. I think out of the 2, Fulham will have definitely had the tougher game. There could be some tired legs out there for Fulham. Charlotte, she's going for a draw in this one. She can't separate the 2. I'm going to back a Burnley win. I'm very impressed with the stats that I saw from their game against Brighton. I think they could create plenty of chances against Fulham. And finally, the last of our postponed games is Everton versus Manchester City. Everton, they will have played at home against Fulham, so what on paper should be a relatively nice, easy game for them, and they get to play at home again here against City. City, they will have played a very tough home game against Spurs. I think there could again be some tired legs in this game. Everton, however, they don't have the best home form. Much like Arsenal, they've only won 4 home games this season. City, they have the 3rd best away records this season. They have won 7 of their 11 away games, so could go in City's favour. I just think City are due a result that isn't a win for them. That's got to end soon. I think Everton could put up the fight, but Charlotte, she doesn't think so. She is backing a City win here. I am going to sit on the fence and I'm going for a draw. There we go. That concludes all 12 game predictions. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.